Alright team, welcome to the video. If it's your first time, thank you for clicking. It's great to have you, and if you're an old subscriber, then it's always lovely having you back as part of the AA family. In this video today, we're doing a quick recap of the CrossFit Games that's just happened in 2020, and then I'm doing my testimony, as well as my current goals in regards to business, fitness, faith, and hopefully competing as a CrossFit athlete. Did any of you watch the CrossFit Games? Because it was quite apparent that you have all the males, Matt Fraser, all the females, Tia Claire Toomey. I mean, I don't think Matt and Tia won every single event, but with all the events that I saw, it was I didn't see the front squat one. The guy who got the best front squat, I've forgotten his name, but it was 222 kilos. He managed a front squat, and Matt Fraser, I think, did 425 pounds, which is roughly 185 kilos. But for the first event, let's take it for example, Friendly Fran, 21 thrusters at 52.5 kilos, 115 pounds, into 21 chest to bar pull-ups for 3 rounds. I think Noah Olsen, for the men, got 3 minutes 50, 3 minute 55 or something. Matt Fraser, 3:08. What? Insane. I think that was the same for Tia. She managed to get something like 30 or 45 seconds faster than second place. I swear they're on a different level completely, like they're aliens. Pretty cool though. If you haven't seen any of the events yet, I'd highly recommend you go and watch them. I definitely recommend watching event 6, my attempt at event 6, and it just shows that I've got a lot of work to do on my static holds for gymnastics. Event 6 anybody can try. It's a static hold for a handstand and maximum length of time. But I don't think you can move outside a certain box. I managed to do like 7 seconds and I was moving all over the place. It was on uneven grass in my garden, so I'm just going to blame it on that. And after this testimony, I'm going to give you my current goals with fitness, faith, and with competing in CrossFit. I'm going to start off with giving you my testimony, so I'm talking in regards to faith, because I've been a Christian since when I was very young, but I really decided to commit myself to faith and following Jesus since I was 16, 17 years old. So first of all, it started my faith journey with, I took the Alpha course. So the Alpha course is where it currently is about 10 to 12 weeks, and you can do it anywhere in the world. But I decided to do it online on my way to uni. I did it through audio books and YouTube videos. So I was watching Nicky Gumbel. And in the Alpha course, they discuss questions of like, is there more to life than this? Did Jesus really exist? What's the historical evidence? It's not a Christian like course, it's a course, the people who made it are Christians, but it's accessible to anyone who have those kinds of questions that are really big ones, because all of us as humans wonder what's going to happen after this life. So I did the Alpha course walking to and from uni. I didn't walk to Kingston, I took the train and then walked at the other end. So I had it in my ears and I did that for a couple of years. I think I might have gone through it like 1.5 times or twice through with the Alpha course. I really enjoyed it. It definitely made me think, and that's when I was at my parents' church, St Mark's it's called, and I was enjoying it, but there weren't many people my own age, so I was still enjoying hymns, then doing worship online as well, watching preachers like Michael Ramsden, Nicky Gumbel, Joyce Meyer, Joseph Prince. There are lots of them online who are really good, but obviously online there are also people who aren't so good. You just got to be careful about who you watch. So I was doing that, and I was enjoying faith, but I'd started obviously making YouTube videos a few years earlier, and I always wanted to incorporate faith and fitness together. I was doing that, you know, just kind of ticking along, it felt like, and then I remember the absolute legend, Mr. Ian Dawson. I got an email from him through just after a YouTube video I uploaded. I think it was about the Bible and bodybuilding. He emailed him after I'd uploaded that one, or he just came across it, and then said, have you heard of Faith RXD? We'd love to have you along. And I was like, okay. And actually I've got the shirt over here. So they have the verse on the back, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Philippians chapter 4 verse 13, this is the Faith RX. So it's a Christian CrossFit company, so I was incorporating fitness and faith together. I just thought, this is definitely, because I've been praying about incorporating fitness and faith together for a long time, and then this came up from Ian Dawson, and I thought, man, there definitely has got to be something out there, or like a God and Jesus, because there's a great saying, I've forgotten who it's by, but it says something like, when we pray, coincidences happen. When we don't pray, they don't happen. This is a good quote for the people who are quite sceptical, because usually with prayer people are like, oh, that just sounds a bit weird. But there are too many anecdotes out there of people who have had miraculous signs, miraculous healings, and even the afterlife as well. People have talked about that. There's been really interesting stories, but that's for another time. There are too many out there, in my opinion, to ignore there not being a God, because I think there is a 100% a God. I mean, obviously, as humans, we get days where we have clouds of doubt, but that's just going to happen because we're human. So I've always, I've committed to the faith when I was about 16, 17, and I've never looked back. So did the Alpha course, commuting to and from university, got more involved with Faith RxD. That's also when I started transitioning more into CrossFit a few years ago. And that was about 2018. I think I might have got this in the right order, I'm not sure. But then I remember a church plant from HTB, Holy Trinity Brompton, called St John's. It was starting up in a local town close to me, where there were going to be a lot more young people, and it was a plant of a church that I've been to in London, HTB, the actual, the main HTB, let's just say. So they planted a church in Brighton that I used to go to a little bit, and I still do, called St Peter's, and then they planted their church that I now go to, St John's, and it's really great. There are about 50 to 60 younger people who are about between 20 and 30 years old, and I can have fellowship with them. I've had some really great services there, and now I currently go to Creation Fest with Faith RxD, where we do the gym at Christian Festival. That's really good. I meet with these guys once a week with the prayer group, which is awesome, and do church online, obviously, because of COVID. But it's like with training, you have to keep working on it. So sometimes with training, it's not going so well, like in the gym. Sometimes with faith, it doesn't go so well. You're having a bit more doubt than usual. You're maybe feeling a bit low, and people sometimes experience depression, which is obviously a horrible thing and can be treated. It could be a long time, but that's just, you've got to accept that. You can't just try and palm away feelings of, I know, stress and worry and doubt. You've got to embrace it, realise it's there, and then pray, spend time with God, lean to the Lord, and then let it go again. There are too many Christians out there who don't like people questioning things, and faith is all about questioning, in my opinion. So about, like, why is there evil? What's happening with COVID at the moment? This just, why, it just doesn't seem right. These questions need to be asked for you to be able to find your faith in Jesus. Now, moving on to my current goals in regards to fitness, business, and hopefully competing as a CrossFit athlete. Talking about fitness first, I'm going to come out with a future video explaining a new program that I'm going to be starting. I'm going to kind of do it myself. I think eventually, when the time is right, I'd like to hire a coach properly if I want to compete in the highest level of CrossFit. But I've obviously started CrossFit in 2018, started bodybuilding in 2013. And where I'm currently at with my fitness, fairly strong, endurance is pretty good. Really need to work on gymnastics, high volume gymnastics, especially under fatigue. The Olympic lifts, as well as my overall strength, because it's clear from the CrossFit Games that just happened recently that they are really, really, really strong, and I need to get better at that and improve my mobility. Because I do believe, and I'm starting to realise now, that sometimes it's not a lack of strength, but it's just a lack of mobility that's preventing you from being able to get to the next weight, if we're talking about like a snatch or a clean and jerk. So current fitness goals is that I'm having a little break now with the family, just for a week and a bit, and then when I come back, I'm going to be starting a program which is going to be focused towards strength on the deadlift, squat, back squat, front squat, deadlift, I said bench press, overhead press, and focusing a lot more on gymnastics. Sorry team, we had an interruption. Anyway, I was saying with the new routine, I'm going to be focusing more on powerlifting, Olympic lifting, and strict and kipping gymnastics. So the gymnastics is going to include bar muscle ups, ring muscle ups, kipping, handstand push-ups, strict handstand push-up, handstand walks, chest to bar pull-ups, all that stuff. With the strength stuff, with like deadlift, squat, bench, front squat, be doing a lot of 5x5s and 5x3s, then testing 1 rep maxes from time to time, probably like every 6 weeks or so. And then with the Olympic lifts, I've been quite enjoying doing a mixture of the full snatch, the full cleans, clean and jerks, hang snatches as well, and power cleans. So probably do a mixture of them. And then the strict gymnastics. I don't know about you guys, but I'm very guilty of getting comfortable with certain workouts. So for example, if I'm tight on time, I just go, well, I'll go up for a 4-mile run and then I'll just do some pull-ups and some dips. That's only occasional, but I just know that I can get a good workout in and not have to think too hard about it. But if I want to get better at the sport of CrossFit, I've got to do the stuff that makes me really think, makes me work really hard and go outside of my comfort zone. So I'm going to be trying to do less running, and I'm going to be doing some more like Metcons conditioning stuff with the handstand. So combinations of like double unders, strict handstand push-ups, and pistol squats or something. That could be one workout for like 20-minute AMRAPs, or 6 times, I don't know, 3-minute AMRAPs with breaks in between. I'm going to be doing more workouts like that are more specific for CrossFit, but I still will be doing occasionally a bit of running, probably 1 long run every week and the occasional 5k. My mate Ben, who I go to the CrossFit gym with, he's told me about a competition for next year that hopefully I'm going to be able to do. It's a team competition, and then the Open is coming up, and I can do all movements for CrossFit now, so I'm hoping to compete in my first Open and then see where I place. Top 5 in the world, I bet. I wish. In regards to business, it's very kind of you, a lot of you are quite interested in it. With my personal training, really enjoying it at the moment, so I'm doing roughly about 25 sessions on average a week, sometimes a little bit less, sometimes a little bit more than that. I'm really enjoying doing that at the moment. I'm going to just keep building that up. I'm getting to a point though where I'm at a facility at the moment, and the aim eventually is that I would love to be able to build up the online nutrition coaching. So at the moment I'm just slowly building it up and gaining clientele, just really enjoying helping people with their goals, whether that be sport specific or if they just want to get really shredded or just be a bit healthier. Really want to build that up to a point where it's like a full-time income, as well as building up my YouTube channel so I could start earning from it, because I'd love to be able to put that towards my goal of being a nutritionist for a GB squad in like an Olympic setting, because I've got to do a course for that, which I'm either going to start next year or the year after. It's called a International Olympic Sports Diploma in Nutrition. Try and say that 5 times really fast. I've got to do that. It's more of an online course, and it would be online at the moment anyway because of COVID, to be able to be a nutritionist in the GB squad. So I'd love to be able to fund myself online just to be able to do that, because sports nutritionist jobs aren't always the best paid, but I still want to do it because I love the sound of that role. So I'm going to be doing that. And then I think eventually in future, I'd love to be able to get to a point where I scale back a bit on PT sessions and increase training volume even more, just so I could be able to put myself in the best position to be a competitor in CrossFit. And in the more distant future, I'd love to be able to eventually, I think, I'm still kind of like wondering with this idea, but open a disability adapted gym. Whether that's just like a normal gym with disability sessions, I'd more like it to be so there's a rebound therapy room with a trampoline, there's a gym with specific equipment for people with disabilities, and then there's some more sports rehab stuff. And I'd quite like to be able to have my own element of like a CrossFit box within it with a Faith RXD sessions. That'd be really cool. But this is all like long distance future stuff. Finally, with my own faith, I'm really enjoying being part of a prayer group. I want to just keep improving, having fellowship with others, getting more confident at praying. But in future, I think I'd like to be able to either work for Sports Chaplaincy UK or just be a sports chaplain within a CrossFit box or at a gym. So that's just somebody, if somebody turns up the gym and is really struggling with something, then the gym owner can be like, I know somebody called Albert, he's our sports chaplain here, you can go and speak to him, and then I can go and speak to the person about it in a confidential setting. That'd be really cool. And I have thought in future that I may like to do some preaching, but this is like when I'm in my 40s or 50s. Don't know if I'd like to be a vicar, but I certainly would like to do more preaching at churches. That'd be pretty cool. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you'd like to tell me your goals in regards to training or anything else, please let me know in the comments section below or send me a message. I'd love to hear from you. Have a great day, and I'll see you in my next video.